So I've come to Manchester after the terrorist attack last night, and I've started to scratch beneath the surface to find out what problems there are in this city. And I've ended up here, outside this mosque. There's a history of extremism with this mosque. Now, where I'm standing now, within a stone's throw, a 2-mile radius of where I'm standing now, there's been 16 men who have or been in prison for fighting for ISIS. 16, just in a 2-mile radius of this part of the city, not the whole city, just this city, one city across the UK. When you start going into the history and the problems embedded in this area, we've seen a terrorist in 2003 called Burgos. Burgos, the police officer, the police officer in a counter-terrorism raid. I was in jail with him in 2012. He's in control of the prison. He's the main man. So all the people thinking there's a solution to send these men into prison, into normal prisons with car thieves or house burglars, they're running the joint. They're in there living a complete halal life, recruiting and radicalising more and more people. It's not solving our problem. We've seen Andy Burnham, who's the MP for this area. Andy Burnham is on record sitting with an extremist organisation called MEND. This organisation believe that Al-Qaeda are a myth. This is the MP. This is the mayor of Greater Manchester, who's organising a peace vigil today, works and cooperates with Islamic radicals. How can he be claiming he's going to solve the problem? The Justice Secretary for the Labour Party took £5,000 off an Islamic radical group. They are in bed with them. Our politicians have sold us out. They're working hand in hand with radical extremists. And what you saw last night is the end outcome of that. Years and years and years of radicalisation extremism that our politicians have allowed to happen, that continues to happen, and the outcome now is our children are being they're being if they're not being in Rochdale, Rotherham, they're being and maimed in city centres, outside concert halls. That's the future for our generations. It's about time people woke up. When we hear all the time the politicians say we're all in it together, we're all in it together. 66% of British Muslims said they would not report on another Muslim joining ISIS. Why is that? Because the Quran says that if they side with a non-Muslim they will end up in hell. It comes back to the ideology again. It comes back to the ideology. You have over 100,000 British Muslims who have said that suicide bombing is justified. The actions you saw last night, we have 100,000 people who think it's justified. That's 100,000 people who need to leave our country. That's 100,000 people enemies. When you see these communities and you see these houses, you think this is a British community, or you might have British Muslims. They are enemy combatants in these houses. In these houses are enemy combatants who want to you, maim you and destroy you. They want to destroy our way of life. And that's it. And that is not at any point. Again, I'm standing next to a Muslim now who's just stood and said how outraged he is by this same situation, how disgusted he is. So people are, but that is the problem is Islamic ideology, it's Islamic scripture. That is what I've stood in the town centre today and I've listened to journalist after journalist after journalist. Not one of them has mentioned the word Islam. Not one of them. The justification and the reason why this attack has happened, not one of them will even mention why it's happened. Not one of them said it, not one. The M word, not I word. That's it. No one's dare say it. Now that's why we've come up here. I've come up here. People who lost their children. Okay? I haven't come up here. People say, oh, you enjoy it. You're there to push your agenda. My agenda is to stop what happened last night. My agenda is to stop the hate. I'm not enjoy this. People say, oh, you're getting your benefit out of it. What benefit do I get out of this? You see the terrorists who people last night, they want to family, they want to my wife. I live with that. I don't enjoy it. I don't get anything out of it. But the reality is, if we want to stop what happened last night and we want to really get to grips with it, we've got to start identifying why it's happening. And it's happening because the Quran, in over 100 verses, incites murder and war against us. That's the reality. That's the truth. These are facts. Facts are not hate speech. You may not like the facts. Liberals may not like the facts. You want to blame Tommy Robinson. You want to take it out on us. Like it's my fault. Like I wrote the Quran. Like I incited all these Muslims to join ISIS. We need to wake up to the threat we face. What's happened in Manchester is going to happen again across our country because our politicians are willful, saying we're all holding hands and community cohesion and diversity. No, it's not. It's not working. It will not work.
In this video, Tommy Robinson appears in Manchester just one day after the terrorist attack that left dozens dead. He opens with a tone of anger and suspicion, saying, "I came to Manchester to see what's really going on." What stands out in the video is not only his outrage, but the way Tommy directly points out by name the causes that, in his view, Britain's political class and mainstream media are deliberately ignoring. He stands outside a mosque with a known history of extremism, recounting how, within a 2-mile radius, several individuals have either been arrested or killed for joining ISIS, a number he uses to argue that radical Islam has deeply embedded itself in the local community. Tommy accuses politicians such as Andy Burnham, the mayor of Manchester, and the Labour Party of working hand in hand with Islamist extremist groups, taking donations and organizing so-called peace vigils while hiding what he calls the grim truth that Britain is being eroded from within. He insists that radicalization is not an individual issue, but an ideological one, blaming interpretations of the Quran that he says incite war and violence. In the closing moments, Tommy doesn't call for hate, but returns to a familiar message. I don't want hate. I want to stop this from happening again. Controversial as it is, the video serves as a raw snapshot of post-attack Britain, a country deeply divided between free speech, religion, and national security.
And now we've just had a news story. Karam Abdul Karim Mohammed, a 30-year-old Sudanese migrant who attacked two train guards, threatening he would, quote, teach them a lesson after he jumped a station barrier, punching one man in the head, spitting at the others, living in an asylum hotel in Bournemouth, the Roundhouse Hotel, that he has been spared jail. In another incident, he also attacked a woman. He pulled out a pocket knife and waved it at them, lashed out at three strangers. He tried to intervene, striking one woman on the arm. It was a group of, he says, he was set on by a group of teenagers. He was arrested for assault, carrying a knife and carrying cocaine. How many different crimes? He has been sentenced for, he was sentenced for his crime, but he has been spared jail, given a 16-week prison sentence, suspended for 12 months, paying compensation to his victims. He punched a man twice in the head. He attacked him in another incident. He was carrying a knife, carrying cocaine. Apparently he was wearing a pair of Nike Air Jordan 4 trainers, which apparently sell for 300 quid. So he's obviously doing all right as an asylum seeker, isn't he? With the cash he's got when he was being sentenced, and for some reason he has not been sentenced to jail. What is going on?
Would I be able to get away with these things?
Is that okay? You don't pay your ticket and you spit at someone and then you're doing their job.
You're punching people.
And you're punching someone in the head.
I mean, I think
what planet?
Doesn't Orwell literally write about this, that the state would say that for certain people that they can get away with things because it's almost expected, but for people like you and me, well, it's a much worse crime because it's terrorism. Yeah, that's
we have had cases of men, asylum seekers from countries like Afghanistan and Syria, and when they have committed sexual assaults, their defence has been, I didn't know I couldn't touch her.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know it wasn't okay because she was only 14.
It is not racist, bigoted, backwards or anything to say there should be a zero tolerance approach to everybody in this country, whether you're a citizen or not, an asylum seeker or not, a refugee or not. That these are basic things that before you rock up here, you should understand. No, it's not acceptable to behave this way, and they will kick you out if you do. Why are we one of the only countries that we even have the conversation about, oh, well, that's not part of their culture, they don't know? No, first flight out of here. I don't understand.
Here's the thing, it's not part of your culture. It's among the reasons I don't want you here. Oh my God, how mad, how unbelievably mad is our country. We people have a problem with our judges. We have a problem with the sentencing council. We are unelected, unaccountable people. We have a serious problem with the judges in this country again and again and again and again. They are not handing down the proper sentences. And I don't give two hoots about, the prisons are overcrowded. I think an illegal migrant who apparently is involved with drugs and weapons, who's assaulted a woman, who has punched someone twice in the head, he's not paid his train fare. That alone does my head in.
Yeah.
Somebody pays their train fare every single time. I'm paying for other people's as well. I'm sorry, you go to prison. You go to prison when you punch people in the head who are complete strangers who are doing their job.